Today we see some basic principles of cognitive behavior therapy. The cognitive principle. It may be easiest to start from a non-cognitive perspective. In ordinary life, if we ask people what has made them sad or happy, or angry, or whatever, they often give us accounts of events or situations. For example, I am fed up because I have just had a row with my girlfriend. However, it cannot be quite that simple. If an event automatically gave rise to an emotion in such a straightforward way, then it would follow that the same event would have to result in the same emotion for anyone who experienced that event. What we actually see is that to a greater or lesser degree, people react differently to similar events. Even events as obviously terrible as suffering a bereavement or being diagnosed with a terminal illness do not produce the same emotional state in everyone. Some may be completely crushed by such events, whilst others cope reasonably well. So it is not just the event that determines emotion. There must be something else. The Continuum principle. CBT says that the something else is cognition, i.e., the interpretations people make of the event. When two people react differently to an event, it is because they are seeing it differently. Let's look at a simple example of this process. Suppose you are walking down the street and you see someone you know coming the other way, but she does not seem to notice you. Below are a number of possible thoughts about this event, and some possible emotional responses arising from those interpretations. I can't think of anything to say to her. She'll think I'm really boring and stupid, leading to anxiety. Nobody would ever want to talk to me anyway. No one seems to like me. Depression. She's got a nerve being so snooty. I've not done anything wrong. Anger. She's probably still hungover from that party last night. Amusement. This illustrates the fundamental cognitive principle that different cognitions give rise to different emotions. It also shows the association between certain kinds of cognition and corresponding emotional states. For instance, that thoughts about others being unfair or breaking rules that we hold dear are likely to be associated with anger. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things. By helping people to change their cognitions, we may be able to help them change the way they feel. The behavioral principle. CBT considers behavior what we do is crucial in maintaining or in changing psychological states. Consider the above example again. If you had either the first or second cognition, then your subsequent behavior might have a significant effect on whether your anxiety or depression persisted. If you approached your acquaintance and chatted, you might discover that she was actually friendly towards you. As a result, you might be less inclined to think negatively in future. On the other hand, if you pretended not to see her, you would not have a chance to find out that your thoughts were inaccurate, and negative thoughts and associated emotions might persist. Thus, CBT believes that behavior can have a strong impact on thought and emotion, and in particular, that changing what you do is often a powerful way of changing thoughts and emotions. Mental health problems as arising from exaggerated or extreme versions of normal processes, rather than as pathological states. In other words, psychological problems are at one end of a continuum, not in a different dimension altogether. Related to this belief are the further ideas that psychological problems can happen to anyone, rather than being some freakish oddity, and be that CBT theory applies to therapists as much as to clients. The here and now principle. Traditional psychodynamic therapy took the view that looking at the symptoms of a problem, for example, the anxiety of a phobic person was superficial, and that successful treatment must uncover the developmental processes, hidden motivations and unconscious conflicts that were supposed to lie at the root of a problem. Behavior therapy BT took the view that the main target of treatment was the symptoms themselves, and that one could tackle the anxiety or whatever directly by looking at what processes currently maintained it, and then changing those processes. Psychoanalysis argued that treating symptoms rather than the supposed root causes would result in symptom substitution, i.e., the unresolved unconscious conflict would result in the clients developing new symptoms. In fact, a wealth of research in BT showed that such an outcome, although possible, was rare. More commonly, tackling symptoms directly actually resulted in more global improvement. Modern CBT has inherited BT's approach. The main focus of therapy, at least most of the time, is on what is happening in the present, and our main concerns are the processes currently maintaining the problem, rather than the processes that might have led to its development many years ago. The interacting systems principle. This is the view that problems should be thought of as interactions between various systems within the person and in their environment, and it is another legacy from BT. Modern CBT commonly identifies for such systems: cognition, affect or emotion, behavior, physiology. These systems interact with each other in complex feedback processes and also interact with the environment, where environment is to be understood in the widest possible sense, including not just the obvious physical environment, but also the social, family, cultural, and economic environment. The hot cross-bun model illustrates these interactions. This kind of analysis helps us to describe problems in more detail, to target specific aspects of a problem, and also to consider times when one or more systems are not correlated with the others. For example, courage could be said to describe a state where a person's behavior is not correlated with her emotional state. Although she is feeling fearful, her behavior is not fearful. The empirical principle. CBT believes we should evaluate theories and treatments as rigorously as possible, using scientific evidence rather than just clinical anecdote. This is important for several reasons. Scientifically, so that our treatments can be founded on sound, well-established theories. One of the characteristic features of CBT is that, in contrast to some schools of therapy that have remained little changed since they were first devised, it has developed and made steady advances into new areas through the use of scientific research. Ethically, so that we can have confidence in telling people who are receiving and who are purchasing our treatments that they are likely to be effective. Economically, so that we can make sure that limited mental health resources are used in the way that will bring most benefit. Summary of CBT principles. These then are what we would take as the basic principles at the heart of CBT. To summarize, the cognitive principle, it is interpretations of events, not events themselves, which are crucial. The behavioral principle, what we do has a powerful influence on our thoughts and emotions. The continuum principle, mental health problems are best conceptualized as exaggerations of normal processes. The here-now principle, it is usually more fruitful to focus on current processes rather than the past. The interacting systems principle, it is helpful to look at problems as interactions between thoughts, emotions, behavior, and physiology, and the environment in which the person operates. The empirical principle, it is important to evaluate both our theories and our therapy empirically.
That's enough for today. I'll try to upload same videos like this every Sunday. In my channel I have a playlist with this series of video. Love you!